Good day everyone, it's me Dex here and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today I want to talk about my game settings and how I set everything to have the best possible gameplay experience. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads, I caught a cold and my voice was gone, you might be able to hear it still. Without further ado, let's get to it. The first thing I want to talk about is my camera settings that I get asked a lot about. For some reference, this is how my game looks like, and I just love the wide field of view. I can see a big portion of the pitch at all times. Compared to the broadcast camera, I can see more, I can defend easier, and counterattack way more efficiently. Now here, as you can see, single player, multiplayer, all my available camera settings is set on co-op. I play on a big screen like 55-inch Samsung, so my players are not too small on co-op camera and it's just the perfect combination for me. But it's not just co-op, I have the custom camera settings on custom, I put the height on 13 and the zoom on 0. And after that, anything with focus, zoom or speed I have on 0, it just adds clutter to your screen, it just makes it not clean. Trust me, these are just distractions, your game is gonna look so much cleaner after you change this into 0. The Pro Camera settings is irrelevant, I don't play on Pro Camera, but make sure to have the power shot zoom on off. I know it's nice and all, but many times when you play against a sweaty player, they do this power shot cancels. And your screen is gonna zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. That's gonna create a lot of distraction and destroys your focus, so I definitely recommend to keep this off. Anyway, if you're wondering, my rush camera is on tactical, I think it's slightly better than the other option, I don't really care. Let's move on to the gameplay settings, and for starters, keep the preset on competitive. On any Ultimate Team game mode, the competitive preset is always active and you can't turn it off. But if you do turn this off, it only affects the game modes like career mode or offline kickoff matches. So whether you play these modes or not, keep this on, okay? So if you do end up playing a few games on career mode, your settings remain intact and your brain and muscle memory doesn't have to adapt into going back and forth between two different settings. Now next is the shot assistance, and it's a controversial one because precision is just superior, okay? If you're good with it, if you can get it down, it's just a superior way of finishing in this game. And don't get me wrong, I play on assisted and it's just, I've been playing the FIFA games for like 15 years plus. My fingers are just too old to adapt to these things these kids are doing these days. But maybe if you're newer to FIFA, or EAFC should I say, and you can adapt into a new way of shooting, the precision shot is fantastic for you. It's got a weaker assistance on the direction you're shooting, but if you aim your shots correctly like a power shot, the shot power and the accuracy of your shots are gonna go through the roof with this option. Anyway, I have it on assisted and I have to use time finishing to get some compensation. If you're not good at time finishing, try to get good at precision shots, it's really good. Now moving on to the passing, through pass, lob pass are on semi, ground passes are on assisted, cross assistance is a good one and it's an important one. I used to have this one on assisted and my crosses were good, but this year I felt like my crosses are off, they're not going to the direction I want them to, and as soon as I changed this to semi-assisted, oh boy, my crosses were just perfect again. The difference between the two options I would say is on assisted, you're more likely to always lock onto the right player you're intending to, but on semi-assisted, you might get the cross to the wrong person from now and then, but if you lock onto the right person, the delivery is 100%, 10 times out of 10 always better. So this year I would definitely say you want this one on semi. Now pass receiver lock is on late. If you know, you know. If you don't, it's one of the most important settings on your game. And there is only one right answer for it. Late. It's about when you pass the ball, but before the pass happens in game, you need to change the direction of your pass. Let's say the opponent now marks the player you're trying to pass to. If the setting is on early, you can't change the direction of the pass and the opponent gets the ball. But if it's on late, you'll have plenty of time to readjust. This might not sound like it's a big deal, but it very much so is, and the situations like that happen multiple times in every single game. Now, precision pass sensitivity is about when you're trying to use a precision pass. It's using R1 or RB button on your controller and trying to send a through ball or maybe a long ball. If you put this setting on high, the pass is gonna load up quicker and you're gonna get the ball off way sooner, which is a good thing, but you're more likely to put too much juice behind it and you overcook the pass. If you think you can get used to it or you're on a really high skill rating, give it a try, give high a try, but I'm gonna keep it on normal. It's just, again, my old fingers and muscle memory, you know. Clearance assistance is on classic for me. You can have it on directional and you can clear the ball in the direction you want to, but if I have the time to clear the ball in the direction I want to, I will use the cross button, not the shoot button. But when I'm using the shooting button, I'm panicking. I'm not too picky. I'm not trying to get the ball to a certain direction. I want the ball off of my yard. So classic for me is a really good option to defuse a dangerous situation. And for defending, many people love advanced defending. It gives you the option to separate the stand tackles from a shoulder challenge, where your player uses their body to push someone off the ball. As great as it sounds, if done not properly, shoulder challenges could result in too many penalties. And by having the defending on tactical, it's the same button for stand tackles and shoulder challenges, but the game's AI chooses the tackling animation for you. For the most part, it's safer and more secure to let the AI choose the most beneficial option. So personally, I'm going with tactical defending. Now this one is very important this year. Auto switching is where you don't press any button but the game switches your player when you're defending. On every previous installment of this game, I had this option on air balls and loose balls. But in my experience in FC25, the loose ball section is just broken in game. Sometimes it doesn't switch your player, sometimes you're stuck with a player you don't want to. I'm sure it's happened to you on a loose ball, your player just doesn't want to lock. I'm definitely going with air balls only on this one. Auto switching move assistance is where an auto switch happens and for how long you want the newly switched player to keep moving in the direction they were moving before your input overrides the movement and you get full control. You obviously want this as low as possible so you can quickly manually take control, right? But if you have this on none, you're pushing a player and he passes the ball and an auto switch happens. If you don't react instantly, the newly switched player will lose a lot of momentum. By keeping this on low, you'll have a little bit of time to figure out which direction you want the newly switched player to move to. If you got the reflexes of a ninja, the none option would be good for you, but I recommend keeping this on low. The right stick switching, I have it on classic, the other options are respectable, I'm just more used to classic, and the same story goes for reference. I'm more familiar with player relative and that's what I'm keeping it on. Now, the right stick sensitivity, I found the most consistency with 4. You can experiment for yourself, don't make it too low, don't make it too high, experiment between 4 and 6, but 4 is just the perfect number for me. Next, player switching is on classic, reaction time modifier. It's a fantastic concept added to the game, but it's just executed so poorly. Definitely keep this on off. Save assistance is only relevant when you're actually playing as a goalkeeper in pro clubs or in career mode, I guess. I've played quite a bit of games as goalkeeper on pro clubs with my friends, and semi just gets the job done for me, but the other two options, again, very respectable. Analogous sprint is you want your players to run as fast as they can, or you want them to run relatively to how far you're actually pressing down the R2 button. So when I'm pressing the R2 button, I want my player to run as fast as they can, so definitely I have this one on off. That's it for the gameplay section, and on the visual tab, I'm gonna make it look as clean as possible. The HUD is on player name and indicator. The player indicator is on player name. So whether in my team or the opposition team someone gets the ball, the name instantly pops up above their head. This actually helps me a lot because if I'm playing against Griezmann, I can instantly see his name above his head and I know I'm expecting a finesse shot. Diaby? Yup, that speed boost is coming. Then we go all the way down to precision pass and shot visuals. If the setting is on, the game is gonna draw a little line where you're using the precision setup, and it actually helps a lot in aiming, so keep this on. Now rolling all the way down to connection monitoring, and I have it on ping and connection indicator. The indicators are the little yellow and red symbols on top of your screen letting you know you're lagging, and ping, well, it shows your in-game ping, which is something I appreciate keeping a tab on. And finally, input overlay is irrelevant if you're not a content creator, and hypermotion insight overlays off, just clutter on the screen, and the same goes with underfoot player highlights. Disable it, it's just unnecessary stuff happening on the screen. Anyway, that's it for today's video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. It would help out my channel massively. This is the end of this episode, and hopefully I will see you on the next one.